Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes, or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Jam DeMatteis, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
I love Ben Riley.
Hello, kids. Welcome back to another episode of the Ultimate Spider Cast. It's the end of the month, so you know what that means. Australia's invaded! Anyway, I am Phil, so yes, of course, end of the month, I am joined by Signal of Doom's Dave.
Hello, everybody. I'm dying. It's Emperor Palpatine in the Death Star right now. I came up from my deathbed. Nothing would stop me from talking about Scarlet Spider. Also, I have a discussion point. There's a Phantom Stranger omnibus coming out, and I got into a conversation with one of my friends, Adam the Computer. He said apparently he's Judas. And I was like, he's Judas? From the Bible? And then we were talking about it was Judas more of a coward, which is what I said he was, or a traitor. And I was like, well, he's both.
And I guess we're not going to get to introduce you, Ray. So
sorry, guys. Hello, Ray. And Ray, is Judas a coward or a traitor or both?
Well, Dave, I thought maybe Adam might be referring to Judas Traveller. Maybe some cross publishers there, Dave.
Wow,
you know? Could Judas well
Traveller.
Be. The Phantom Stranger is Judas Traveller.
Then you know it's going to happen if he's Judas Traveller, and Dave's going to be like, where's Medea? Where's Medea?
You know what? I saw somewhere a recent interview on John Suntress's Word Balloon. Like a recent interview said he was writing a Judas Traveller story. It was like, I will find the guy, but it's like if it's not...
Who's writing it?
I will find out who it is. I can't remember, but it's like a recent, a current writer. Like, it's not Joshua Williamson, but it's someone of his ilk. And apparently his big fucking dream was to write a Judas Traveller story. And I was like, well, I like this guy already.
Wow. Dave, I just want to also say, while you're looking that up, like you mentioned Palpatine, your hair looks more like Tom Waits for me.
Oh, man,
Tom Waits. Tom Waits.
Sorry, I haven't done my hair. I'm actually, I'm
That's
covered in
good.
coffee. Yeah,
you know I'm a big Tom Waits fan. No.
Tom Waits, croaking out down Brown Train or whatever it was, and
Well, I see you tonight.
But like, if this is, I thought The Last Signal was going to be my last show ever on this planet, so I went out blazing. I took shots at Mark Wade. I took shots at the Assassin's Creed EB Games Australia website, which posted up an Assassin's Creed trailer, all in Arabic, without subtitles, and I said, "This isn't downtown Baghdad," I
love how he's like, yeah, we're not going to record this, and he just says it anyway.
Oh, fuck it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm close to death.
I do see that. I mean, yeah, I can see on the business side how that's not the smartest thing. It's like, hey, if you're going to post it on a country's website and it's not in like the native language. I'm like, I can see that.
Exactly, yeah. Like without even subtitles. And Richard tried to defend it. And I go, Richard, like Assassin's Creed Origins was in Egypt. It wasn't in Egyptian. Valhalla wasn't in Swedish. And he had to retract his comments. And it was quite humiliating for Rich. He actually had to retract his comments, and that gave me some pleasure.
I would imagine.
Oh, but hey, since the last time we talked, I picked up this little beauty.
Oh yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah, Ben Riley Spider-Man.
The most recent Ben Riley Spider-Man costume, right? I mean, apart from Chasm.
Yeah, this is new. Yeah.
Chasm.
Well, they have this and Chasm, but I refuse to pick up Chasm. So
can I ask?
We'll touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Store or wherever you got that. How much was that in US?
What was it?
$16.
It might. It was something like that. It might have been closer to 20, but
okay.
Yeah. But I've seen them. Yeah, it was at Target. GameStop has them, so I believe both their websites have them. If you're looking for that, yeah.
Well, no. I mean, I saw it in Australia on JB Hi-Fi on Friday, and I actually think I sent a picture.
Oh, you sent it to me? Yeah, with Spider-Woman.
$39 And
Aussie, which is about 20, I think, or maybe
it's with a
bit over,
with the
but
Australian
25
tax as
US.
well added on.
Yeah.
And now that I actually picked up US Agent while I was there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And but you know what? I may go back and pick that one up as well, so I have it as well as my hooded version as well. You know,
do it.
Yeah, do it. Fuck it, why not?
And if you could see up on the shelf,
Laser Glory, Dave.
If you see up on the shelf over there, I got a in the box there, Johnny Storm. You know, it's like he just has like
Funko.
The hand.
What is it?
Yeah, it's a Funko Johnny Storm,
cool,
just with the hands and feet on fire. Lilith got that for me, so
that's cool.
Nice.
Wow, wait. All right.
Up there by Galactus. Up there by Galactus, so now I just need to get the other three.
Have you got that? There was like a Galactus that was like a Hasbro. What do you call it? Like Lab or HasLab?
Yeah. It was like hundreds of dollars, and it was
massive.
like 20 inches long or something.
Yeah, it was massive. Like, because they did the Sentinel, and they also did Galactus.
Well. Yeah, they wanted to fund Robbie Reyes' Hell Charger.
It failed.
Not with the bike, with the. Yeah, it was like $400.
Yeah,
they were asking for $400 for it. So people.
HasLab has quite a few failures, mostly to do with Star Wars. They've had some really bad ones, but like I like Robbie Reyes, but that just doesn't have the appeal. That's
the car would be cool. Yeah, it's too expensive, way too expensive. But it looked cool though.
Nothing against the character, but I'm always like, Ghost Rider's got to be the motorcycle,
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean that's absolutely stock standard.
With a high-end product like that to launch a HasLab, you want something like, example, the Hiss tank with G.I. Joe. It was just there was no question. It just went through the roof. You want something like that, but Hasbro do, especially in Star Wars, they've done some really bad ones that just go nowhere near it. Like they did Revan's someone's lightsaber from one of the Star Wars shows, and it just completely failed. Like it was just. They've had some big misses. The Robbie Reyes car would have been cool, but it just didn't have the mass appeal.
Yeah. So it didn't end up on the shelves, right? Like it failed before production.
Yeah. It's like a Kickstarter that doesn't hit its goal or whatever.
There you go. Sure.
But I mean, you would have thought they would have gone with Johnny Blaze with a motorbike.
They have got some really cool ones. The Hasbro Ghost Rider on the motorbike, and the classic Johnny Blaze, the blue, like his blue suit, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I like the Danny Ketch. I do like the Danny Ketch.
He's cool as well.
Myself.
Either one, but I'm saying you want to go with the classic Ghost Rider with a motorbike if you're going to bother doing it at all. In my opinion, or Judas Traveler. Do Judas Traveler. be like two backers, me and whoever created Judas Traveler.
Listeners, any listeners out there who are cosplayers who have cosplayed as Judas Traveler, please contact the show. I'd like to know. Yeah. And photos. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you can fly and move shit around, that'd be even better.
Warp reality. Yeah.
Judas Traveler. I mean, whatever the price is, if you can manufacture a life-size Medea, Dave would like to talk to you.
Well, actually, if you just want to cosplay as Medea and come to my house, that would actually also.
Is that a direct message to Jennifer Love Hewitt? Or?
That's a direct Imagine if she knocked on the door. I mean, a lot of cash would have to change hands to make it happen, but anything's possible. We live in a capitalist society.
Exactly. There's a price to everything.
Yes, everything's got a price. I've got a price.
What, the dress as Medea? Jeez.
I don't know if the demand's out there. Supply and demand. There's supply. I'm not sure there's demand.
All right. So should we talk about these Scarlet Spider issues?
Yeah, they were good. I mean, they were good. 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's over.
All right. Before we jump into 1 and 2, let's get Ray's thought, or 3 and 4. Let's get Ray's thoughts on 1 and 2 because he wasn't here last time. So, Ray, what do you think of the first two?
Yeah, it kind of all four of them kind of blend in because I read all of them like consecutively.
I mean, the first two were him getting to Houston and then fighting that thing in the hospital. Yeah.
Yep. No, I really enjoyed it, actually. I didn't know what to really expect. Just having, come obviously Kane in the issues that we've covered before. And I really enjoyed it. I thought Christopher Yost did a really good job. The artwork I really loved as well. it was Stegman, right? But it also slightly reminded me of Humberto Ramos in some bits. I don't know, just had that vibe to it. But yeah, no, I really liked it. I liked the way that that Kane was fleshed out as. You've got to really distinguish him from both Peter Parker and Ben Reilly, right? Because you've got yet another clone. And I like this whole riff of him not really wanting to be a hero. And not only that, but not knowing how to approach or address things. Like, he either comes in too heavy-handed. There's that little old lady that was crossing the road and he just berates her afterwards. I thought that was pretty cool because you don't have a hero like that. And he consistently says, I'm not a superhero. I'm not, I'm not like that. But he has this inner urge to do, what's right. Like he doesn't, first thing he says, not my problem when he sees something happening, but he just can't help himself. So I like the way that he's been characterized. I thought it was very odd that villain, but he was pretty cool. That the fire god. I'm not going to. I'm not going to even try to pronounce his name. And unexpectedly dark as well. Like corpses, decaying in shipping containers, and there's actually a survivor in the massive, of decrepit flesh. It was good. And she's got a bit of a mystery behind her as well. So, again, I'm not sure if I'm delving into 3 and 4 now, but the way that she kind of reveals her languages, like she speaks English and French and Japanese, and she started to just speak Spanish. So there's a lot of interest, I think, from me at least, for me, from the plots. But yeah, no, really, really, really thought it was good.
Yeah, because we are building like I mean, we can jump to 3 and 4, but I mean, we are building up like Kane's support here. The girl Araceli, and then the doctor and his husband. And then the woman from the hotel. So.
Oh, and the guild as well.
Oh yeah, the Assassins Guild. Yeah,
Belladonna. I love the tie in there with obviously the obvious, just the guild. So that's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would you agree? You know what I was thinking reading 3 and 4? To me, the stakes are so low on a Kane book, and that gave so much freedom to the writer and to be able to bring these things in, and for him to be much more harder edge than Peter Parker. And you have so much freedom because you're not really chained by very much at all. Like, what was Kane? He was a baddie, but like violent.
I think
like.
Yeah, it's all those fringe characters. Again, it's an example, I think, editorial going, look, less risk. Have fun. Just tell a story you want to tell. So that's where we get those dark edges. That's where we get, characters that Yost draws in, like the Assassin's Guild, which is pretty cool. Of course, he's not bringing in like Doom or anyone or Thanos to, that would cause problems, with continuity. But yeah, I mean, you get these cool. If you like lower tier like characters, you just love that kind of delving in. I think you'd really love this series.
I see a lot of freedom in the storytelling within the constraints, and I think it's. I think if anything, 3 and 4 I think improved on 1 and 2, which I did enjoy. But it's good to, and I mean, Yost is a good writer. I mean, I've liked his work over the years on various things, mostly Spider-Man related, what I have personally read. And I'm surprised by how much I'm enjoying it. Like, honestly, because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't even realize this was going to be Kane, and then I was like, Kane. I'm like, okay, but no, much more enjoyable and interesting than I expected, frankly.
Yeah, and we see that. I mean, it's great as well. Like, it doesn't hold back. I love we see the callbacks, the flashbacks to the Mark of Cain. That disfiguring thing that he does to a lot of people, and he's haunted by it as well.
Can he still do it?
I don't think so. I think the thing that stopped. I think the thing that like cured his appearance, stopped the clone degeneration stuff. Yeah, because that was his, the thing that lets him stick the walls at mutating. But I think that's all been cured and stuff.
And he's no longer in, because I remember in the Clone Saga, wasn't he in pain all the time?
Yeah, that was the clone degeneration. Yeah, that's been cured. So
Yeah, and it was mentioned as well, Phil, about his precog stuff. That's gone as well. Which is
that
all
was
part and parcel.
That was the spider sense, yeah.
Yeah, hyped up like spider sense to the nth degree.
What's with the digital kind of look that he occasionally has?
Oh, this is a costume Peter had been working on like different Spider-Man costumes. This is like when Peter was at Horizon Labs and stuff. So right before Ben left town at the end of Spider Island, he just like stole this suit. He's like, I'm taking this suit.
So what is it? Like
ability, right?
The suit can like change like appearances. I think it has like camouflage. Like you can, I think he has like a stealth mode and stuff. But yeah, it's just like a suit, like a high tech suit that can like change like its appearance and stuff. Yeah,
it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool graphic, isn't it? Yeah.
I agree. I was it in 1 and 2 because I saw it in this and I was like, "What's going on?"
It wasn't 1 and 2. He just really didn't use it to, except to just wear it. But yeah,
I sent out the bat signal to Ray. I said, "Ray, what's going on with this digital?"
Yeah.
You know, and
Exactly.
I was just like, I liked it. Like, I also like that. I like a tortured character, and I find them interesting in these kind of books. And he certainly does have that, like when he was throwing up and stuff after he agreed to do the killing, the one-off killing for the assassin, for Belladonna. I thought that was really interesting. That he's kind of like really kind of like haunted and stuff. Like it's not all happy families for him. Like because I know they've redeemed him a lot, but even still, there's a lot of baggage for him, as a character, which I think makes him interesting. And different. Like, it's not just like Peter the same but slightly different. Like, unfortunately for Ben Reilly, like, a lot of the time it is. It's like, he's Peter almost the same,
Well, no, I think... I think they made enough changes with Ben and Peter, like, just with his background, like, him being, like, really struggling, like, work-wise. And Peter's like...
Over the years, but at times in the Clone Saga and the Ben Reilly Saga, what I'm saying is there's not a lot of difference other than the 5 years thing.
But yeah, I mean, Kane worked as an assassin, so that's at the end, he's seeing all those people he killed, Yeah,
he's drastically different, that's what I'm saying. And, like, when he's beating up on these people and stuff, like... and it's authentic. It's not just like as if Spider-Man decided he was going to start doing it, and you'd be like, "Well, why is Spider-Man suddenly like acting like Batman, Dark Knight?" This makes more sense because the character kind of has a history that he's coming from of like quote unquote, violence and trauma and all this other stuff. I think it makes sense.
Well, let's ask the expert, Ray. Is he acting like Batman?
Batman, my favorite character.
I wouldn't be able to tell you, Phil. I wouldn't be able to tell you at all.
I'd say he's acting like a more psychotic version when he was... But he does do the Batman thing where he like throws him off the building and then webs him at the last second and stuff like that. It's very dark.
Oh, the mugger, I mean, look, he picks him up by the face, just like...
Yeah, I know. And he holds him up, There's a silhouette shot of him holding him by the face.
And he tries to kill that assassin. Like, frankly, I like to see him killing and stuff the baddies because I'm like, let's make him a bit different from Peter Parker. Like...
Yeah, it's funny, Dave, I see him as more of a little bit of Wolverine in there as well, because we're talking about the mark of Cain. He's scratching people across the face, which it's not like he's got claws or anything like that, but he's causing significant damage across people's face.
Some sort of almost like blades, though, didn't he, in his hand at one point, or a throwing star or something? Didn't he? At one point, he did.
I thought it was just his fingers.
I'm trying to remember. Those might be the stingers because he kind of has the other powers
some
now.
Sort of a weapon.
I think if they're the stingers, they're like coming out of his wrists. Like almost
because he gets like 3 or 4 marks on people.
Yeah, it's almost like Wolverine's bone claws when he had the bone claws, but it's just like one that shoots out of the wrist.
Because even though they've cleaned up Wolverine over the years, at the end of the day, if there's mindless goons attacking him, like he will kill.
Oh yeah.
Like and we don't sit around going, "Oh, it's so terrible." Like. I hate it when it's always like the hero won't kill when they're doing this, whereas this, it's authentic. He doesn't want to, but he will if pushed. And when he tried to kill that hand agent, I was like, good, this is what I want to see.
Oh, that one assassin, I mean, look, he breaks his arm just with his
that
feet.
Was cool.
Just...
Actually, I like that assassin. He's Smithy, right? Is he called? Something like that? I think he's called. Like, he can pull out guns, like... endless guns from some stockpile somewhere. Really good.
But
it's good stuff. And
I like those. I
also
like those
the
assassins
artwork.
actually.
And the artwork as well. Can I just point this out? I felt the artwork was very strong in these in 3 and 4.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, you can tell there's a level of detail, and none of it kind of looked like phoned in or like last minute. Yeah, Stegman. He's generally very solid. Yeah.
Okay, because he gives. I believe he may have done some Venom as well in later years.
Yes. He did Donny Cates, right? With Donny Cates.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, and I like him there, and I like him here. No, I think it's a very attractive package. How long did this run for, Phil? Is this like a 20?
Went for a bit.
25, I think. Yeah.
So it's decent. It's a couple of years.
Yeah, it's a decent run.
2 years. Yeah.
I'd love to know how something like this. I know Spider-Man sells very well. I'd love to know how something like this sells or sold. You know, like actual numbers. Like, would it sell more than 100,000 at the time? You know.
I know we're talking about early 2000s,
2012. So,
2012. Yeah. Okay.
I wonder, or would it be tiny? You know, like I
Probably
wonder.
I mean, I would think it had to do somewhat decent numbers to get 25 issues. Because I mean, what gets 25 issues these days?
And considering as well we've seen the first 4 issues at least. There's no ring in like Spider-Man or Captain America, or Iron Man to help pull.
Hasn't shown up.
Yeah, it haven't been phoned in to kind of draw in the sales. So
all I'll say is Wolverine hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah, cool, excellent.
I want to see him come in.
Oh, he will.
But I liked. I wondered if Gambit was going to make an appearance with the Assassin's Guild turning up. It would have been kind of cool to see Gambit like rolling in.
Yeah, you would think he would, but I'm trying to remember. I don't think Gambit shows up, but I know Wolverine does show up later on. So,
okay. All right. Well, that's good. Punisher? Any Punisher?
I don't think
Trip
so.
to Houston. I liked the scene where he was swinging and then he ran out of buildings in Houston and he just hit the...
That's
as well.
Bit of slapstick, he just falls in. Oh, geez, Phil, I just remembered I forgot to send in some Silver Sable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Justin and I last night, Dave would have loved it. Yeah, we covered... Well... What was it? Last week, with Ray joined us, we covered the first 3 issues of Silver Sable and the Wild Pack from the 90s.
Yeah,
and then
good.
Yeah. Last night we did issue 4 and 5. It was so good because it was the Infinity War tie-ins and stuff. So Silver Sable's fighting Doctor Doom's double ganger.
I might have to send in delayed feedback there, Phil.
Yeah.
That's a good
that Silver
run.
Sable series. It's great.
It's a good run.
It also is quite a long run too.
Yeah. It just reminded me.
That was like 35, 36 issues. Yeah.
For like a character like Silver Sable. Sorry?
Yeah. She's a great character, Ray. What are you talking about? The Wild Pack.
Well, she hasn't been given that much exposure, that's all.
It's a crime.
I reread, after we recorded, Phil, I reread that, what was it, 2016, 17 one-shot?
Oh, yeah.
Silver Sable. Very cool. It was very good, Dave. It was a I think it was around Legacy or something. It was just a one shot, and it was really cool. She kind of infiltrated this boat full of hostages. She had a shark attack. It was really good. So,
like, where is her appearance in a movie? I get maybe she doesn't have her own movie, but where's her appearance in something?
They were talking about doing a Silver Sable and Black Cat movie.
Silver and Black.
I spent many an episode of Signal of Doom discussing that film. And Silver and Black, I think it was called, and Craven was supposed to be like the villain. But unfortunately, it got canned eventually, which is a shame because I think it was actually a really good idea.
I don't timing wise. I don't think it would. I mean, and now I think even less so. Timing would be a bit poor. Why? It would get poor. So I think if it came in earlier, I think it would probably have done well.
But isn't she a Sony character? Couldn't they pump it? If they're doing fucking Morbius and whatever the other shit character they're doing, Madam
Craven.
Web,
I can't. I can't fathom they're doing.
Although I feel that Madam Web actress you showed me, I am 100% involved.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Phil sent me a
Dave's
picture,
watching.
and I was-
So did you just see the pictures, or did you see the nude scenes?
I
She
did a little
does.
bit of investigation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, all I can say is, I remember in my mind, Madam Web, aged 90, and wow, things have changed.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
only glad.
Well, the new Madam Web is Julia Carpenter too. So
Yes.
so-
Sydney Sweeney is apparently who's she? Not Gwen. I can't remember.
Is she supposed to be
she's
Julia
cast.
Carpenter? Or
Sorry,
is she
She's not-
supposed to be
she's-
Julia Carpenter, or is she supposed to?
no, that's Dakota.
Oh,
What's her
okay.
name?
So maybe it's just that the original Madam Web, just not 90 years old. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I
No,
think
no.
it is. I think she's the original person. Like,
No, she's another. We covered it in our podcast as well. She's another spider character. I can't remember who.
well, who cares? She's going to be in it. She's going to be hot as hell. And
No, she's going to be Julia Carpenter. I just looked this up. She's
What?
Julia Carpenter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that one of your favorites, Ray?
Dakota Johnson.
Oh, no, sorry.
Dakota
No, you're
Johnson
sorry, you're
is
right.
supposed to be Madam Web.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. Who was that? What's her name?
Dakota Johnson is going to be Madam
Dakota.
Web.
Yeah, sorry. She's Madam Web. Yeah,
Anyone
but
thinking
my
that
mis-
there's a
my
chance
mistake
for,
was-
like a lesbian scene in this,
Yeah,
like
sorry.
with all these hot
Yep.
sort of like actresses.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
yeah, sorry.
am
my
I the only
mistake
one
was
thinking
that.
it, Ray? Am I the only one thinking it?
No,
out there?
you're not, Dave. You're not. No, because Julia Carpenter is Madam Web, but they've obviously
She is Madam Web.
talking about no, she in the comics, but
Yeah, the new
they've
one,
obviously done both now. So the original Madam Web.
Well, bring it
Gotcha.
on. I couldn't give a fuck what her actual name is. Like, I just want to see her in this film. I don't even care about Madam Web. I actually hate Madam Web.
Who
but,
else is
like,
it?
I'm
I think the
thrilled
Hood
for
is in
this.
there as well. You know, I think the Hood is in
Dennis's
the.
character.
I think so.
Okay.
What? Yeah. What?
Really? Is he?
Oh, there's
He's
one.
actually got a cool story. He's got a cool origin.
Yeah, with the magic and all that. Yeah.
And the deal with like the devil and stuff and all that stuff.
There's a villain. I think it's the Hood. I can't remember.
Yeah,
They had-
well,
it is a
Wow,
Hood. I'm pretty
I
sure.
wonder how this movie's going to do. I'm interested to see.
I hope it goes well. I mean, I
hope it
don't.
goes well as well. Yeah.
I'm not interested in Kraven the Hunter and Russell Crowe in there. I'm not interested in that at all. I didn't mind Morbius, but it's not the best movie. And
I'm
the Venoms
interested
were
in Kraven.
okay. Yeah, really?
Blue blood.
I like Kraven a lot.
Yeah, I
wish
don't know.
Spider-Man-
but-
Yeah,
know.
but does Craven work without like Spider-Man or?
No, he doesn't really. I don't understand what he's doing. He needs to have a really powerful. If it's not Spider-Man, he needs to have a really kind of heavy hitter adversary. You know,
Punisher.
who is the villain? Yeah, someone like Punisher. Like he needs someone hardcore to go up.
Yeah, I don't know who is the villain. He becomes a villain, isn't it? Like a Breaking Bad or something. Like that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But you need
Russell
someone
Russell
who-
is Nikolai Kravenov. I don't know about Aaron John whatever Taylor.
But what I'm
Peter
trying to say is,
Johnson.
if you
Yep.
don't have Spider-Man, which you should have had, you
Yes.
need someone to play off. who's
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely. That's why I'm not that interested in. I mean, Morbius at least was a vampire, kind of was like a vampire thing. I kind of like that.
It's a pretty bad
Venom
movie,
is
though,
Venom.
right? I
Oh,
love
it
Venom.
is.
I
It was
love
fun.
Venom. I love Venom so much.
Yeah,
those two.
yeah, they were fun. But I put Morbius in there, like with them. Like it's just fun stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's not.
Well,
I'm not
I just
expecting
hope
much from
that
Kraven.
this- like, I just also feel like with Sony that some of these individual films could have probably worked if they'd merged some of them together. Like,
Yeah.
does Madam Web really need her own
It's
movie?
really weird, like really weird decisions made by Sony. I don't know. Like
Like,
I don't know what they're doing.
I agree you could use her in a film, but who's saying, you know what,
I
we
know.
need a Madam Web solo
Yeah.
film? Like,
And look, and truth be told as well, that's kind of what I was thinking when Silver and Black was announced. I'm thinking, as much as I just said, I love Silver Sable and Black Cat. Like, they're such odd choices. Like, how would you be able to attract in?
well, it would have
It's-
worked if they had
you have to-
Kraven as a baddie, man. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, this is great because people that read the comics, they love it and they'll. But that's a small percentage. Like, you need to get the casual or whatever the moviegoer to come in and buy into the interest. And how can they buy in with these characters that they just don't even know? Like,
They go for the they go for the plot, Ray, and the plot is
Maybe a
But, like,
really
Phil, you-
hot shower scene to kick it off.
Yeah. Phil,
Just get really
you've seen
desperate.
like you've reviewed Blue Beetle, that kind of came and went for me. I didn't even realize it was released.
And
I have
that's what Lilith and I even said.
That's
what Lilith and I even said. We kept forgetting that was going to be a movie.
It's so quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was all right. I mean, they could have
done
a little.
The most shining review there.
They could have done.
Right.
The cast was good, but they could have done a little more work on like the story and stuff. And
yeah.
Also, no one cares about Blue Beetle. Out there in the world.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you know,
he's a zero.
Well, DC's already like damaged their brand so much, so it's just
like if Blue Beetle had made actual money, like decent money, that would have been a miracle, and it was just not going to happen. They've really tarnished their brand,
and they really couldn't do like a ton of promotion, like the cast and stuff, because we are in the middle of like a writer and actor strike up here for the so.
I think they.
I'm going to also say as well.
Trailer where they said Batman's a fascist. I think that hurt them a little bit.
I thought Ray was going to run to the theater when he saw that.
Batman, my favorite character.
I'm just saying, like, that was an odd decision to make when you're desperate to have a hit. You know?
But also as well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, and, you know, we're all big, huge comic book fans here. I do feel like it is waning now. I think the superhero comic book movies are starting to flag a bit. I mean, Marvel, MCU's feeling the effects, and I don't think people are that interested anymore. So you have to bring in the big guns like Fantastic Four and X-Men to get people excited again.
Lilith and I were saying that, and we also said, you know, it's more like, you know, let's do some quality over quantity instead of like 20 movies a year. Let's focus. Remember back in the day when we get like one superhero movie every 1 to 2 years? Let's do that. You know, instead of just throwing out 20 things, let's do pick one movie a year, Marvel and DC, and put everything you have into that one movie.
But they're not going to do that.
No.
But I mean, to be fair though,
they're going to mine it until it dies completely.
Well, to be fair though, I think Kevin Feige has done the right thing. He's turned the tap off a bit. Like, they had all these scheduled releases for stuff, and I know there's strikes and stuff, but they've delayed stuff and they've held out. I think they learned from releasing
he's got that
those
horrible Marvels thing that's going to come out that'll make no money. You know, that'll be another bomb. The Marvels movie.
The Marvels.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. Look, I've missed Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like,
that was actually good.
Yeah,
I want to see it. But I've just missed it. And there was another one that came out, right? And I've missed that as well.
Ant-Man 3?
No, I saw that one. Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe it was Secret Invasion. I haven't even finished that yet.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, at least for me, and I'm only judging from my thing, it kind of, things are slowing down.
Oh, you're right, Ray. I mean, if you track the box office, if you go just on box office, forget about quality. Because the quality is never that high anyway. The quality of these movies is generally about a 6.5 at best.
Yeah.
Occasionally they hit a 7. Rarely do they go above it. The box office has dropped off. They want people to care about characters that people just don't care about. You know, this is the thing. Like, people out there don't care about a lot of these characters.
Yeah. Well, I think,
I think the box office is not good, and the movies aren't that fantastic.
And I mean, too, it's like some of these characters are on household names. Like, you know, you were getting bigger draws with Captain America, the Hulk.
Yeah, and I think the pinch point came, I think, around last year, when not only did the MCU have, like, I don't know how many movies slated last year, but they had, like, almost every month a new TV show, like, on Disney Plus, and there was just too much. And that's why I think Kevin Feige, they did stop. They've stopped it, and they're kind of staggering their releases now, which is good. You're right, though, Dave. They're still going to try and milk it for all it's worth. But
what they should also do is actually focus on actual characters that average people even know. You know, so it's an absolute crime that they haven't pushed forward with X-Men, for example.
Yeah, once again, Fantastic Four and X-Men. Those
are the two. Yeah, like, I think they're holding. Those are the two cards they're holding close to the chest.
If the Marvels makes over 500 million worldwide, I'd be amazed. I think it's going to bomb.
Yeah,
I just think the timing is not there. Yeah, I think similar to, I don't know how well Guardians 3 went,
it did okay. It did.
But I think that's the same trajectory as the Marvels and everything else that comes as well. And
like I said, once again, I don't know if the cast can do like a ton of promotion because there is a strike. Because everything else after the Marvels has kind of been pushed back. Because again, nobody can work on anything. So
also, I will say this: just away from just Marvel, the actual cost of the experience has pushed more and more people to just catch it on streaming.
And again,
Yeah,
too, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
some of those movies, they turn them around and they're on streaming 90 days later. So, I mean, for the average citizen who's not doing a podcast, they're like, yeah, I got to wait like a month or two.
I waited for Guardians 3.
Yeah.
And you know what? At the end of the day, I enjoyed it. I went and saw Flash only to review it on the podcast.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a show,
Oh yeah, I missed. That's the one I
waited.
missed. Flash.
Yeah,
as
I
well.
would have waited.
Yeah.
Look, I liked it enough. I didn't love it or anything. It was like a 6 out of 10, you know. But like, what I'm trying to say is like that's another factor. I really do believe that a lot of people are now saying, you know what, I'll catch it on streaming. You know, to a lot of this stuff, especially with look, a lot of the movies like Mission Impossible didn't do the numbers they expected.
No, Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible, yeah.
So it's a factor, and so when you put out a lot of films and there's a lot of competition, generally one wins, which was Barbie. Marvel's comes up against apparently not much competition, but I still expect.
I think it's November. It's like November, So
okay, so it's got an easier run. Yeah,
a much easier run, but even still, they'd be a lot wiser to invest in actual characters average people care about. And I would also have said with Blue Beetle, I would have put that on streaming rather than keep tarnishing the brand in the cinema, because with streaming, you don't have to tell anyone how many people are watching it. It's all a fucking lie.
I think they were talking about putting it on streaming, so I don't know why they made that for the movie.
That's the way to go. That's actually a good.
You put it out there.
Yeah, that's a better avenue.
No money, and your brand gets hurt. And let's assume the movie's okay. Let's assume it's a decent, formulaic superhero thing. You could have thrown it on streaming, and there's no harm, no foul. As opposed to you put it out in cinemas, everyone sees it, makes no money, and what's the point? You know?
Yeah, agree. Yeah. So anyway, that's the state of affairs at this moment, I guess.
I have a question for you guys, and it's not related to Scarlet Spider. What did you think? Do you guys like Star Wars? Because we've watched the Ahsoka Tano.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, a casual fan. I haven't watched
it yet.
Well, I will say this. We really enjoyed it. We watched it on the weekend, and really, I thought it was... I actually think the recent Star Wars product has actually been a lot more entertaining than has been for a while.
Okay,
and,
good.
Look...
I mean, I'm a bigger Star Trek fan than Star Wars, but I have been watching this Star Wars stuff. I mean, The Mandalorian, I think, is the best stuff they put out in a while.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
a lot of people were hating on that season 3. Michelle and I basically we stockpiled it. We watched it a couple of weeks ago. We really enjoyed it.
I mean, I think the backlash wasn't it just like some of the episodes really didn't focus on the Mandalorian. There was they were showing other. I think that was just
interesting stuff, man.
Like,
Empire, warlords, and stuff. Like I don't know, for a Star Wars fan of the original stuff, it felt a lot more like classic in terms of like that's what it felt like watching it, and we enjoyed it. And the Ahsoka Tano stuff, I mean, Michelle doesn't know who that character is. I do, but I don't know much about her. The 2 episodes,
it's good
really
action.
Good.
It's good action, Dave.
There's a lot more action than you'd expect.
Cool.
A lot more creatures, a lot more robots.
Cool.
I found it actually very entertaining.
I might have to try and catch it.
That's good,
Yeah.
We watched Secret Invasion, and look, it's okay, but it's mediocre and it's totally missable. Oh my god, it's missable.
Is it just?
Yeah, I watched the first 3. I've still got the rest to go.
I know it took me an extra week or two to watch like the last episode. I mean, is it just that the scale was so much smaller? Because I mean, in the comics, I mean, it was like the whole Marvel universe, and
I said to Michelle, in the comics, this was so much bigger and so much.
One of my
better.
favorite events. It was just a huge.
This is the most
event,
lame version and small version of this story you could possibly get. Look, I still enjoyed bits of it. I didn't hate it, but it was very missable.
And like I said, I mean, this could have been their big thing. I mean, any mistake, anything people don't like about any of the movies or like anything they want to like change, they could be like, oh, that character did that. Oh, that was a Skrull, or they could have fixed so much stuff with this. And
I'm gonna go a bit out there and say like, I mean, we had the TV show for it. I reckon they should have done like a double trilogy would probably do it justice. You have 6 movies of Secret Invasion. Might be a bit overkill, but like just
or like a 2-parter at least.
Well, 2, or maybe 3, maybe a trilogy.
Movies,
just
right?
you need huge, epicness, and you need to build it up.
It should have been like an Endgame level event,
Yeah. absolutely.
Instead, it was incredibly dull. I mean, one of my favorite periods in modern Marvel Comics was when they flipped over Elektra and she was a Skrull. I remember reading that and being like, wow, this is
how good was that?
Or they were like,
awesome.
or they were like, hey, Mockingbird wasn't killed years ago. That was a Skrull. Yeah, they brought back dead characters. Yeah, they did the whole thing with Spider-Woman and stuff.
There was
such
so
a
much you
great
could do.
tool.
And again, is that just like the downfall of like a shared universe where it's like it's like, why aren't you calling in the Avengers for this world level threat?
Yeah,
or
true.
at least
And the
one
obvious
person.
issue-
I mean, Nick Fury had so much, connection with, not your favorite, Dave, but Fury had such a connection with Captain Marvel. Why isn't he calling Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
And the only excuse he gave was he didn't want to involve them because perhaps some of them were Skrulls. I think that was
Yeah. Meanwhile, the
Even-
real reason was
that was
budget.
Exactly.
That was the real reason. But the mistake they made was making it that TV show and so low stakes. Like I said to Rich, apparently there was 2 million Skrulls on the planet. It felt more like there was 20.
Yeah.
It
had such a
was
great opener.
Completely missable. Completely missable.
It had a great opener with Everett Ross, because that kind of set the tone about like any of your big ticket characters could be it, but then it just disappears. So
because they did the Everett Ross thing, and then the spoilers, they did the thing with they killed what's her face, Maria Hill, and it's just you thought, oh man, they're going to be hitting all corners of the Marvel universe. Then after that, it was kind of just like kind of slows down.
Well, and I often say this, I say this all the time on the Seagull. I think with a lot of the Star Wars shows and nearly all the Marvel shows, they give you a scrap and they say pretend it's a feast. They say here's a. I said this to Michelle the other day. They do 7-8 episode series, and yet somehow it still feels like they're stretching the little bit of story they have because they don't give it a lot of content.
Secret Invasion was 6, and it felt like they were stretching.
And
they just use it. It's in name only as well.
Yeah, exactly.
They just use the name Secret Invasion, but it really
that's what they always do, though. I mean, Age of Ultron, Secret Invasion. Yeah, it's always just the name.
Civil War.
Infinity
that was all
War.
one movie.
Yeah,
fight in a car park.
Exactly.
I have so many criticisms. I know there have been some decent Marvel TV shows. I've seen nearly all of them, but so many of them, they don't have a lot of story and they stretch it. Ironically, one of the ones I liked was, when I think of the Marvel shows, I liked She-Hulk for what it was.
Yep.
And I liked Loki as well. But again, I felt like they trod water there. But they're probably my two favourites. Yeah. But God, there've been some mediocre ones. And neither of them were that great either. They were like sevens to me.
I still go back to, I think WandaVision is probably one of my favourites. That was the first one. And that was just because it was so different. And you can tell it wasn't, they were just trying something different.
Well, that's a lot more ambitious than any of the other ones. Secret Invasion is not ambitious at all. It's almost like, I don't even know. It's like, finalising Samuel L. Jackson's contract. And, he has to be in every fucking scene. And it was woeful. And, when I say woeful, it was mediocre, And that's why it was refreshing to watch those Star Wars shows, and they felt like they had some life in them. And I've actually been quite critical of, at times, I've always felt The Mandalorian was overpraised. Good show, not a great show. I thought there was more action in Season 3 and more life to the show. And the same with Ahsoka Tano. It feels like they're actually doing things, It's not just talking and stretching out tiny plot points over.
The Boba Fett was just really dreadful. I thought
mediocre.
I mean, they had to bring the Mandalorian in. It was basically Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian at
2.5.
Once he got in there.
Agree. That's a classic example of what I'm talking about. Like Boba Fett, it was almost like they had maybe an episode of story or 2 episodes, and they stretched it out. And honestly, there was a couple of decent bits. But that's no payoff for watching 8-9 episodes of something. And Boba Fett's supposed to be a great character. The biggest mistake they ever did was put him in that dress. And I just kept saying, why the fuck is Boba Fett wearing this dress? It looks stupid. And also, every 5 seconds he took his helmet off. He's standing around with his helmet off. And it's just like, man, this sucks. Don't get me started. But I am critical of Disney's Look, their whole approach is just spam, churn it out, churn it out.
Well, I do know Disney shareholder Lilith Hellfire says their stock is down. So
okay, well, that's why all the good stuff is in the comics, guys. Stick to the comics.
Maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, not now. Fuck now.
Oh, there's some good stuff, Dave. Don't worry, there's some good stuff. Yeah.
You know what? Those miniseries they've been doing, like that are set in the '90s, must be selling because they keep doing them. So,
some decent stuff. I agree, but they could do a lot better there as well.
Remember, kids, in November, DG Chichester's back. Daredevil Black Armor. Check it out.
Oh yes,
I'm looking forward.
And
to that.
Is that with Netho Diaz?
Yes,
as the artist.
Uh-huh.
He is a phenomenal artist.
Yeah.
He's doing the Predator series at the moment. He is amazing. So. Anyone, if you just want to get the art, if you don't even, Dave, if you don't even care about Daredevil, get it for the art. Netho Diaz
I definitely will be reading this. I'm super interested in it. I think it's really cool. No, I agree. Those 90s stuff they're doing, the throwbacks have been, in general, I think really good.
Oh, and each time an issue comes out, that's going to be the Chichester chat for the month. Me and Lilith are going to talk to him about the new issue. Yeah.
That's
excellent.
Cool. Excellent news.
Trying to remember. I think it might be 4 issues. Yeah, so...
Yeah, man.
At the source. Going to the source.
Yeah. Straight from the source.
And I don't know, Dave, I don't know if you might be interested. Chichester is going to be doing a Kickstarter comic too. Axel's Infernal. It's like has to do with like truckers and hell and stuff.
Cool.
I think there's hot chicks in it. I think there's going to be supposed to be hot women in there too. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Lesbian and sex scenes.
Hot women, truckers, and hell. Yes.
Yeah. Hitting a lot of my favorite things. I'm super interested in that, and send me the link and stuff. I'll put it on my Facebook, on my Signal of Doom page, because I think that's great. I think it's great that those guys, and they're coming back, and actually I think delivering decent product too.
They are.
I've read all of James DeMatteis' stuff, and I read what's his name? Peter David's stuff.
Peter David's stuff is all the classics are coming back, and Anna Senti's even doing some stuff as well.
She's doing that Storm miniseries. Yeah, set during the Claremont stuff. Yeah,
Captain Marvel, and she did Moon Knight as well. So,
yeah.
Did I read somewhere, Ray, that Moon Knight's dying?
It's another one of those death of he'll be back though.
No, death is so permanent in comics. No,
right.
It's one of the, we're at a point now. Like we're just like I think we as a comic book readers, it's just one of those death ofs. Yeah.
Do you know? Apparently, I heard that apparently the death of Captain Marvel was an absolute bomb. It just did not sell.
Oh,
yeah. They tied in Spider-Man and stuff. Ms. Marvel, whatever her name is.
I mean, that death lasted a whole month,
Yeah, but apparently it was just like retailers really took a bump.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every side, nobody liked that because they did it in the Spider-Man book. People, you know my thoughts on Zeb Wells, and then other actual fans of Miss Marvel were like, oh, they're going to kill off the girl of color. Okay, that's what I think it was. I think intentional because they wanted to bring her in line with the MCU. So now she's back as a mutant.
Mutant X-Men, and which is
I just thought it was hilarious about how personally Spider-Man was taking it. Like,
Peter Parker. Yeah, it's like,
I think
Spider-Man
more
was
recently
reacting as if like his wife had just been gunned down in front of him.
Well, no, the best is like Norman Osborn was all sad about it. They're like, aren't you the a-hole who was throwing blondes off bridges, and now you're crying over this teenage girl dying?
That's pretty funny. They're desperately trying to make you care. They're trying to make you care so much, and people just don't care. The apathy for Ms. Marvel is just amazing. And like mediocre character, mediocre performance.
The writer too. Zeb Wells has been doing shit on mediocre, Amazing Spider-Man.
Mediocre. The whole thing is mediocre. Marvel have been trying to force this character down our throats for it feels like 10 years, and I wish she had stayed dead. That would have been actually pleasant.
I mean, she does have her fans, but it is such a gimmick because again, she was only dead for like a month. They even put out like a death issue where it's like everyone crying over her.
No, I
think
I think she's. I'm assuming her fan base is quite big. Actually, I thought the demographic is for like younger girls.
you're
I mean, that's broadly
you're
speaking.
believing the hype that Marvel is
And
feeding down your throat.
And again, it's like if any of these characters die anymore, do you even care? Because you're like, you know they're going to be back.
No.
I thought it was funny that Peter Parker was so traumatized.
Yeah, I thought Death of Doctor Strange was done well. I mean, that wasn't like
Jed McKay,
yeah. It didn't last too long. You kind of knew that it's like nothing. It's just in the title. But that was an example, I think, of how a Death of works really well.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to say, Dave, did you ever read the Strange book where I got
Deadpool Cup?
Where Stephen Strange is dead and Clea's the Sorcerer Supreme? Oh, Dave, you'd love that.
I do like Clea.
She's hot, and she's she's like, I'm the warlord. You don't F with me.
Yeah, that does sound cool. I'm not going to read the comic, but that does sound cool.
It was only like 10 issues, right?
Yeah.
No, I
less, I think.
It was.
You're right. Yeah, 10. Yeah.
It was Jed McKay. Jed McKay's good.
Yeah, that's
quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
got him on the phone right now. Can you call him in, patch him in?
Yeah, well, I'm chatting with him this week, so yeah, be good.
Don't mention I'll never read.
We talked to him once.
Moon Knight, a guy who runs around in a white outfit, relieving people of their facial features.
So who's writing Moon Knight now? Right,
it's still Jed, isn't it?
Still Jed McKay until at least 30, issue 30.
So are you going to get him on to discuss the death of?
Well, we're getting him on this week. We have to discuss the last. We're a bit late. We had him on every 6 issues, so we'll have him on to discuss the last 8 issues, I think.
Right. Okay.
But we'll talk about the upcoming death of and
you're like his PR agent, aren't you? You're seeing a back end out of this, like you're just really, you're really doing your work.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anyone I don't think anyone on this video can say anything. I mean, that's Jed McKay's PR guy. This is DG Chichester's PR guy. There's Chuck Dixon's PR guy next to me.
I've got a few torches that I'm holding. That's for sure.
Yeah, but
I multitask.
I think Chuck Dixon's your superstar. That
100%. Yeah. In fact, Chuck, I should mention he's coming on in a couple of weeks. We're having Chuck on. He's going to be promoting a few different things he's got going on, and I've got some G.I. Joe questions for him.
Oh,
and nice. We've also got John McCrae, the artist of Hitman, coming up shortly. And I'm a big fan of his, and I'm really looking forward to getting him on. And Tom DeFalco is going to be coming on.
Really?
So Tom DeFalco's got
big
Secret Wars miniseries coming out.
Oh yeah, they're doing
and he's going to be coming out a bit closer to that. Coming on the show a bit closer to that to promote it and other stuff. So, always publicising it, of course.
Oh, I talked to DeFalco, man. I have a million Spider-Man questions and Thunderstrike questions. Oh,
sounds like a really nice guy as well.
Dude, he's a super nice guy. Phil, seriously, feed me some questions, and I'll ask him some because, I'd be thrilled to because I've got some, but I'd really like to.
Yeah.
I'll flick you a thing because I really love it when people ask questions because I have to do all the hard work because Richard does nothing, and in fact sometimes doesn't even turn up. So I take the interviews really seriously. So if you have some questions for Tom, I'd be thrilled to ask because he was such a nice guy to chat to the last time we had him on. Super nice. Yeah,
I'll try to. I'll try to shoot you some questions because yes, if I tell you I'm sending feedback, I send feedback. I don't say I'm sending feedback and then sit there and play Marvel Snap the rest of the night.
Oh yeah, well, Ray's playing the kid card. He's playing the
Marvel Snap sounds funnier, Ray. Shut up.
Meanwhile, I'm dying. And
playing Witcher and probably going to be pulled off the internet for some of my comments, but I don't care. But on my tombstone it'll write, I don't care.
You need to steer into that skid, Dave. I mean that's your tagline. I think you need to be like Dave Finn, the bad boy of podcasting.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I try not to be controversial, but it's just so hard.
No. It's like being an alcoholic. It's like being an alcoholic. One day at a time, Dave. One day at a time.
They make it so easy for me with their just mediocrity.
Minimal effort.
Yeah, exactly. So,
did you see that thing about Brevoort's going to be on X-Men? And I wrote on Facebook, "Am I supposed to be excited?"
I'm supposed to be impressed. Oh yeah,
yeah. Like he announced that, like people were going to be like amazed, and like it was like the Beatles are reforming. I was like, "Is this supposed to be exciting?" Like I was also like, "Aren't you already in charge of everything? Like, can you please fuck off? That'd be more exciting."
me.
Tell me we're getting rid of the Krakoa stuff. I'll be excited.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah, it's about time. Yeah.
Anything
else on the on the Scarlet Spider?
Oh yeah, we just want to grade the issues and then call
7
it
out of 10. 7 out of 10.
For 3 and 4. Yep.
7 out of. Actually, you know what? No, 7 out of 10 for 1 and 2. 7.5 for 3 and 4. I thought 3 and 4 was slightly better. I thought they slightly improved. In 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'd say 7.5 across the board. I think it's a very solid read. And for those who may be indifferent to it, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised. Just the artwork, the writing, it's a good pace. There's a lot of action. It's good. It's great.
I mean, I forget what I gave 1 and 2, but yeah, 3 and 4. I'm going to go an 8. I really enjoyed these, especially the whole Assassins Guild things. I mean, you're setting up a thing because they will pay this off.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
sorry, I was going to say, how cool was that? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Ray.
No, I was just going to say, how cool was that hand assassin? I loved it. Like, that demon-looking thing. That was good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say, too, because that's 8, too. I like the art. I thought that, the colorist even did a good job on this.
Yeah, really good.
No, it's a good package. A really good package, and definitely of what I would consider a very fringe character,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, like I said, it was an 8 for me because, yes, it was a really nice package.
It was just a really nice package.
It'd be hilarious if the contract that he had to kill was Ms. Marvel. No, I'd be
tying it in too neatly, Dave, without discussion.
I'd be very happy if that was the case.
I mean, it'll be a little bit before we get there, but it's just to wet Dave's whistle. I believe the target may be Wolverine. I think that's what brings him in.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's good. What a showdown!
I believe the one issue he's like Kane's trying to sneak into the X Mansion. Yeah.
Cool.
How would he even kill Wolverine with his power set? Like, really?
Well, he'd like Spider-Man's pretty tough. Like,
Yeah, but like, dude. Firstly, Wolverine can't even die, pretty much. So, like, good luck, Kane.
Yeah.
Good luck, unless you get massively more powerful. Like,
Yeah, unless he can incinerate him like a Sentinel, like in Days of Future Past.
He'd have more chance if he was like still had the mark of Kane and stuff, but. He's only a human, isn't he? Like, I mean, Wolverine will just slice and dice him. Man.
He's not a human. He's shooting webs from his wrist.
But I'm talking in terms of damage. Like, any healing factor's minimal compared to Wolverine.
Oh,
It'd be Wolverine's worst day if Kane managed to kill him. It'd be his worst day in history.
Well, it takes Dave's on one bad day, so...
Yeah, right.
Enough with your Batman references, Ray.
Yeah, and also Ray, I expect you to be standing up for Wolverine a bit more here.
Oh no, look, for me, Team Wolvie all the way. Yeah, he's very hard to beat. He's not gonna.
I just can't see. I mean, what if Kane manages to catch him literally while he's asleep, and like, even then, how?
And Wolverine gets him with the red hot claws. His red hot claws.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened to that? Anyway,
it'd be funny if he got in there and Wolverine just went berserker and killed him, and that was the end of the series.
Exactly. Knocked on the door.
It's like the end. It all wraps up.
We haven't seen much berserker rage Wolverine, have we?
No,
lately.
If PC fight him and tried to clean him up and stuff.
No berserker rage. He doesn't get to smoke cigars anymore.
Unless he gets, yeah. No,
it's no fun. It's the no fun police,
All right, so kids, the next episode of Scarlet Spider you'll get, or the Ultimate Spider Cast you'll get, will be the next Scarlet Spider episode because Lilith is off in September. So Justin and I will be doing 2 episodes of Marvel Tales every week. So the first week of September you'll get 2 Psylocke episodes, one requested by Ray himself.
Yeah,
so.
That's cool.
And listeners, I hope you've enjoyed our in-depth review of issues 3 and 4.
I feel we covered all the bases. with everything.
Yeah.
You know, just so we touched on all the topics. Yeah. Hey, look, can I sometimes remind listeners of this. You're not paying for this. You know what I mean? You're getting this for free. This isn't behind a paywall.
Exactly.
So be happy. You know, don't complain. I mean, I came off my sick bed to do this.
Oh,
that's true, Dave.
yeah.
Dave did it. Yeah.
So much of all of that, and I tell you what, having touched death, Ray, I realise I just don't care anymore. I'm going to be unfiltered from now.
You got a cold.
All right, Thanos, settle down.
I'm going to be unfiltered from now on. I've decided.
From now on.
He's not going to be the quiet little flower he has been, Ray. He's going to open his mouth now.
No more wallflower for me.
Tell it how it is, yeah.
I'm just going to tell it like it is from now on. Until they revoke my internet privileges.
Okay, let's actually do the podcast that we get paid nothing for.
That's it.
Exactly.
All right, so yeah.
I get feedback sometimes from listeners, and I just read it, and I'm just like, what do you want me to do with this? Do you want me to stop? Or
Dave prints them out and appreciates the contributions of free toilet paper, kids.
That's just good.
All right, yes,
Whatever.
next week, kids, Lilith is away, so we get 2 Psylocke episodes, and then the week after 2 Silver Sable episodes, and then week 3, 2 West Coast Avengers episodes, and then the last week of September, yes, these boys will be back. We'll talk Scarlet Spider. I believe it's 5 and 6. Yep, Scarlet Spider 5 and 6. So 2 issues again. Cool. Yep. Cool. So, and then yes, October Lilith will be back. It was we'll start our run on some of the early '90s stuff. We're going to talk the Lobo brothers.
Oh my gosh.
What's that?
The mutant werewolves. Mutant werewolves.
Oh,
Spider-Man versus mutant werewolves. Yes.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And they're in a gang. They're in a gang war with the Kingpin.
You have so many shows; it's hard to keep up. Which show of yours is Silver Sable going to be on?
Marvel Tales with me and Justin. We just cover something Marvel different every.
It's just so hard to keep up with how many shows you have. I just find it I almost have to keep a fucking spreadsheet.
I know. I do keep a spreadsheet. Yeah, I mean, okay. I'm almost as bad as Ray. Well,
did you mention Wondercast?
Oh yeah, we are doing we are doing a Wondercast episode in September. Yes, me, Justin, Will, and Diva Ray has dined to join us. Yes,
I shall grace you with my presence.
Is it Wanda as in Wanda Maximoff?
You know what, David? Again, this Ray, I've cracked the formula on this Ray. Ray's always like, I'm so busy, I can't guest on stuff. I mentioned, we were like, you want to join us for Silver Sable? He's like, yeah, what day, what time,
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You just need to whistle with the right thing.
That's it.
You find something with one of his favorite, characters or like a hot chick in it, and I mean, he'll drop that Marvel snap like that,
That Marvel Champions is just playing around the clock.
Black Canary, Phil, I'm waiting for the call, so...
Oh, okay.
I like Black Canary too. She's cool.
Pretty cool.
Last night, Justin and I also covered that original West Coast Avengers miniseries, from the early 80s. Jessica Drew did make an appearance. Tigra and Jessica Drew were in the same issue, and I got no feedback from you, Ray.
Which one? I've read those.
That original West Coast event. It was West Coast Avengers number 1, the original one from with Hawkeye on the cover, and it's like, who will join the team? That one, yeah.
Golden days.
Jessica Drew and Tigra, and I figured Ray would be on the ball with that feedback.
Is Moon Knight
I was too busy. I was too busy reading it.
Still banging Tigra in the comics?
Yes. Yes, I think so. With Jed McKay's Moon Knight run, yes.
Yeah, Ray living vicariously through Mark Spector, yes.
Am I the only one thinking if you threw Marlene into that bedroom as well? Things are going to get real interesting.
I know you and Marlene. Yeah.
You just throw her into that scenario, she'd enjoy it.
Jacuzzi.
Well, I see Dave's feeling better.
My mind was just I'm getting ready to go to bed now, fall asleep for these stories.
All right, so let's get out of here so these boys can go to bed. They're on a way different time zone. All right, so Yes, kids, send us all your thoughts on the upcoming Scarlet Spider stuff or anything. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise, the Patreon, where, join the Patreon now. Join the Patreon Elite with Ray, Russell, Justin, and Moz. Right now, you join, you get all of Lilith Hellfire's drunken thoughts on every Heroes Reborn series from the 90s. So that's that's worth it for itself. And again, there's a shock. She picked her least favorite series, and it's not the one you think. It wasn't the Captain America that you thought it was going to be, kids. So find everything all in one place. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. All right, Dave, if people want all of your quiet thoughts, where can people find Signal of Doom?
You find me in the library mostly just thinking great thoughts, but you can also find me on Signal of Doom. We're on Facebook, Twitter, everything else, signalofdoom.com. We do the weekly show. We do have a couple of spin-off shows, Legion Outpost, which Adam and I are about to do another episode of for Legion of Superheroes, and Dread or Dead, which is our Judge Dredd sort of podcast we do semi-regularly. But Signal of Doom is where all the action is. As I said, we've got some big guests coming up, and be happy to see you there. And you know what? I'm going to try to be a good person from now on. I'm going to try my hardest to walk the fine line, not say anything inappropriate. Maybe this whole experience facing death has shown me that there's a whole lot. But then I think of all the other things and all the other comments I can make, and I'll probably take the dark path, and that's it.
Oh. So I see two outcomes to this. One, Dave's not going to be able to keep that promise, or two, I'm going to hear in a week or so. It's like, oh yeah, Dave Finn had a heart attack or something because he just kept it all in. Yeah,
just died.
I think the first one, it's just, this is going to last a day. And he's going to be like, F this now.
I'm already over that resolution. I see you and Ray. You're so good. You say all the right things, and I try to be good, but it's just so hard.
Sometimes, yeah.
All right. Okay.
It is.
Okay, Ray, what shows do you do when you can drop the Marvel Snap?
Champions. Yes, well, do catch me on at RayRayPod, REY Pod, do Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast, to know as if you're Spider-Woman podcast, Predator and Prey as well. So just recorded. We've got 2 episodes in the bag. I'm going to release one as of this recording. Going to release one very soon, and we're trying to be fortnightly with that, which is good. We'll have don't laugh, guys. I have a playthrough of Marvel Champions in the next To Know Her Is to Be Her podcast with Jessica Drew.
I'm rolling my eyes, but I'm not surprised.
I don't know how we decided to do that, but it's good. It's good. I filmed my first playthrough. It was fun, so I'm going to do one for Spider-Woman. And Into the Night, I'll be back with Rebecca. We're going to talk about City of the Dead. Since this will come out later on, it'll be way gone, but we'll be reviewing City of the Dead issue 2. So,
And was that the lowest ever numbers for any podcast or video ever with the thing with you, Marvel Champions?
The playthrough.
Spider-Woman playthrough.
It was
5 people, including your
the one I recorded, it was for the Patreon members. So that was for Into the Night.
But I will be.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave, I believe there is an audience just for people to watch video game, game content.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. I've been watching plenty of YouTube.
Okay.
Video, well, but there will be another. Right? Yeah. It's good. So if you want to learn how to play the game, just check out that episode coming up.
Okay.
Snap.
What's that? Gwen Stacy's neck? Jeez. All right. Thanks, kids. Coming back again. The next Ultimate Spider Cast we'll get is the next Scarlet Spider episode. So next episode, these boys will be back. With more Kane on the eve of Lilith Hellfire's return. But until then, swing on back. Come on, Ray. You know you want to whip it.
Whip.
Good night.